Without our public health expert joining us today, welcome.
Glad to be here. Always up for talking about the things everyone experiences but rarely discusses openly. Kind of like a public service announcement, but way more fun, hopefully.
Absolutely. It's like the elephant in the,
Exactly.
And speaking of things we don't always talk about, let's address the, shall we say, hovering phenomenon in public restrooms.
The infamous hover technique.
Yeah, it's almost instinctive, isn't it? That need to avoid contact at all costs.
Oh, 100%. Especially for us, you know?
Right. But here's where things take a turn. What if I told you that hovering might actually be worse for hygiene than just, well, sitting down?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It feels safer, but
It's like that classic horror movie trope. You think you're safe by not going into the basement, but that's exactly where the killer is.
and in this case, the killer is germs. Dr. Poonam Desai, who is featured in both articles, explains that hovering can actually make things worse because of something called, wait for it, splashback.
Oh no, not that word. Anything but that.
I know, right? But basically, it means that by hovering, we might actually be causing more stuff to end up on the seat and, other places than if we had just, well, you get the picture.
Oh, I'm getting the picture and it's not pretty. Okay, so if even with the best intentions, hovering can backfire, what are we supposed to do? Are we just doomed to live in fear of public restrooms forever?
Not necessarily. See, Dr. Desai actually makes a really strong case for just sitting down, but with a barrier, of course.
Okay, that makes me feel a tiny bit better.
She's a big advocate for those disposable toilet seat covers, even mentions in one of the articles that she always keeps some with her, just in case.
Smart move. And didn't those articles say those covers cost, like, next to nothing? I mean, peace of mind for a few pennies seems like a good deal to me.
Right. Totally worth it. And you know what's interesting is this whole thing isn't just about avoiding germs either. There's another side to this hovering dilemma that we don't always think about. The toll it takes on our bodies.
Wait, really? I never thought about that. Fill me in.
Well, Dr. Desai says when we hover, it puts a lot of strain on those pelvic floor muscles, way more than sitting normally would. And over time, that can lead to, well, let's just say incomplete evacuation.
Oh my, you weren't kidding about unexpected consequences.
And it's something that affects everyone, too, not just women, which is something one of the commenters pointed out in the Mirror Online article. Men have pelvic floors, too.
So, just to be crystal clear, we've got this hovering thing, which seems like the safe option, but in reality, it could be spreading more germs and even messing with our health in ways we don't expect.
You got it. Sometimes the things we do to protect ourselves end up doing the opposite. It's all about being aware, right?
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, as they say. Which makes me wonder, if we're already rethinking our whole approach to public restrooms, are there other solutions out there? Beyond the trusty toilet seat covers.
You're on the right track. There are definitely other solutions out there. It's funny you should ask, actually. While I was gearing up for this deep dive, I came across this product. It's called Get This Hover No More.
Wait a second, hover no more? You're kidding. I was just looking at that online earlier today. It's like they knew we were going to be talking about all this.
Right. The timing is pretty uncanny. But you know what's cool about this product? It's not just about giving you that physical barrier like a toilet seat cover. It actually, get this, sanitizes and deodorizes, all in one. At least that's what they're claiming on their Amazon page.
Oh, for real? I mean, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It tackles both of those big public restroom anxieties. The germs, A&D, the smell. Talk about efficiency.
Exactly. It's like, why choose between fighting germs or odors when you can take them both on at once? And it made me think back to what we were discussing earlier, about how hovering can be a real challenge for some people, especially those with certain medical conditions.
Oh, right, yeah. It's not always just a matter of preference, is it? Like for people with IBS or Crohn's, hovering might not even be an option, let alone a comfortable one. We actually got a couple of prompts about that.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder that accessibility is just as important as hygiene when it comes to restrooms. Everyone should be able to use the facilities comfortably and with dignity.
100%. And I mean, even beyond medical conditions, there are people with different levels of mobility and flexibility. This hover no more thing could be a real game changer, in terms of just making life a bit easier for a lot of folks.
For sure. It's all about options, right?
Options are good. Speaking of which, I was poking around the Hover No More website earlier. They're really pushing that premium, discreet vibe. Like, they actually use the word elegant to describe it.
I know, right? It's kind of hilarious. Like, finally, someone's bringing a touch of class to the public restroom experience. I mean, why should it always be so,
Drab and utilitarian.
Exactly.
Okay, but for our listeners who are, like me, super curious about this hover no more thing, break it down for us. What's actually in this magical potion, and how does it work its magic?
So, from what I've gathered, it's a quick-drying formula, which is essential, let's be real. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be stuck there awkwardly waiting for things to,
Air dry.
exactly. But the surprising part is it's also got moisturizing properties. So it's not going to dry out your skin, which is a nice bonus considering most public restroom soap feels like it sucks the moisture right out of you.
Oh, that's a definite plus. Because, yeah, public restrooms are not exactly known for their spa-like amenities, you know?
Yeah, right. Like, let's be real, they're not usually the most pampering environments. But anyway, it seems like these Hover No More folks really thought of everything. Even the bottle is designed for convenience. It's a 20 milliliter travel size, so it fits in your bag or your pocket. And they say you can get a good 100 uses out of it.
Hold up. 100 uses? That's a lot of trips to the restroom.
Right. You could practically ditch your anxiety for a whole year, all thanks to this tiny little bottle.
I'm sold. And wait, didn't they say you can also spray it directly into the toilet bowl as an odor eliminator?
Yep. Like a 1-2 punch for all your public restroom woes.
This is amazing. Okay, so we've covered the hygiene part, the physical comfort aspect, and now even the odor situation is handled. This is like revolutionary.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know what? This whole conversation, this whole deep dive, it's really got me thinking. It's making me realize, like, all this anxiety we carry around about public restrooms, it's kind of crazy when you really stop and think about it.
I know, right? It's like this unspoken fear we all share but never really address.
Exactly. We come up with all these ways to avoid the problem,
Right.
like hovering, which, let's be honest, isn't really solving anything when maybe, just maybe, the real solution is as simple as changing our perspective. And having a little bottle of, well, confidence on hand probably doesn't hurt either.
I love that. A little bottle of confidence.
Eh?
That's Hover No More in a nutshell. But you're right, maybe this is bigger than just restrooms, you know? What if, by reframing our relationship with something so ordinary, we actually unlock a bit more peace of mind in other areas of our lives? It's like that ripple effect, you know?
Totally. If we can let go of that stress and anxiety over something we do every single day, imagine what else becomes possible.
It's empowering, honestly, to think we have the power to make those little shifts that improve our well-being, even in the most unexpected ways.
Absolutely. It all comes back to having the knowledge to make informed choices, choices that prioritize our comfort, both physically and mentally.
And speaking of informed choices, I think we've officially busted that hovering myth today, haven't we?
Totally busted. Miss busted. Case closed.
So, for everyone listening, take note. Hovering, not the hero we thought it was, sitting with precautions. That's where it's at.
And hey, if you want that extra layer of,
Yeah.
I'm good, I got this,
Yeah.
while you're at it, products like Hover No More are definitely worth checking out.
For sure. It's amazing to see how innovative people are getting with tackling these everyday issues. But you know, beyond the products and solutions, what I love most about this whole deep dive is that we're actually talking about this stuff.
Right. Shining a light on the things people don't always want to discuss, but that affect us all in one way or another.
Exactly. And it's a great reminder that there's always something new to learn, even in the most unexpected places. You know, like the public restroom. Who knew?
You never know where the next deep dive will take us.
That's the truth. But for now, my friends, we'll leave you with this. May your toilet seats be clean, your conversations be open, and your minds be free of unnecessary restroom anxieties.
Well, cheers to that.
Until next time, stay curious.